ladies and gentlemen. I'm awfully glad you joined us for another show of championship bowling. I'm Chris Schenkel speaking from the magnificent Brunswick Alleys in Paramus, New Jersey, just a short distance from New York City. And we are welcoming back for the fourth consecutive week a young man who seems to have gotten all the money, the majority of it, by virtue of his 300 perfect game a couple of weeks ago. How about a big round of applause, you Eastern bowling fans and sports fans, for Stan Gifford. Stan.
How are you this week, Chris?
Oh, well, I've gotten over that nervousness about seeing you shoot a perfect game. I suppose you have, too.
Yes, I have.
You ready to roll another over 700 series?
I'm ready to try.
Well, tonight you have tough opposition in the veteran from Chicago, Illinois, who has a 20-year ABC average of over 200, Ed Kawolics. Eddie? Hi, Chris. Hiya. How are you? Well, you're a familiar bowling figure. I've watched you a lot and certainly have enjoyed your style. How do you feel about this match on championship bowling now?
Well, I guess somebody's got to win. That's all I got to say. I hope it's me.
Stan knows about all the rules. In fact, he has copped everything that we have on the show. I'd like to explain them to you and all of the viewers and those here in the East. If you win the first game, Eddie, you get $50. The second, $75. The winner of the third, $100. If you win the match, which is determined on total pins, you get $500. Now, if you lose the match, you get $200.
Not so good.
Not so good.
Better win.
Here's the man that doesn't know about losing. Anyway, he knows about the tremendous award we give for rolling a perfect 300 game, because that is $5,000.
Well, I'm glad Stan got it, because I saw half of that game, and it was really terrific. I think it was one of the most terrific 300 games ever rolled.
Well, I know we're going to have terrific games coming up right now, but first I would like to explain that the match is conducted under ABC and All-Star rules. Who won the toss?
I won the toss.
Well, you had some luck right off, huh?
Oh, sure.
Which alley are you starting
Alley
on?
3.
All right, Ed Kawolics and Stan Gifford. Here now is Eddie Kawolics, the 47-year-old Chicagoan, born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Weighs 198, 5'8", up to the line on alley 3. Oh, it looked like it was just a little bit high, getting a weak hit, and he leaves the 4-7 pin. The 4-7 pin standing. This is the first frame of the first game of this 3-game match. The winner gets $50. The winner of the second, $75, and of the third, $100. Stan Gifford back here for the fourth week. Earlier on championship bowling, Ned Day won 3 weeks consecutively, came on the fourth and was stopped by Paul Krumsky. Will Gifford be able to do it? Here's the fellow that will try to stop him. And with that type of shooting, he might. Yes, with that type of shooting, as he gets a spare in the first frame, Kawolics marking. Now Stan Gifford, the mighty little mite from Portland, Oregon. 23 years old, 5'7". He weighs 152 pounds. He is up on 4. He gets his strike. He made a beautiful recovery, I believe. As I was watching, it looked to me like he was having a little difficulty with that six-step stutter approach as he went up to the line, but he was right there and put it down. Now he comes over on 3, an alley which has been something that he has liked. Here he goes. Will he come in? He's got it! Stan Gifford. And you know, all the veterans that he has competed against, they applaud for him like he might be their son. That's one thing I've found among these pro championship bowlers, star bowlers. They are great individuals. Ed Kawolics of Chicago, who has a spare up in the first, is rolling on 4. Oscar on the Brooklyn side of the 1-3 pocket, and there is the 6-10 standing. Eddie Kawolics with 18 in the first frame. He'll look now to cover the 6-10. Kawolics with that 20-year ABC average of 200.31. He rolled 8 straight 1800s an ABC record. Now he's going to cover the 2. Oh, and he chops off the front 6. Chops off the front 6, and that gives him an open frame. Open frames to these champion bowlers are often disastrous, but they make great comebacks. Ed Kawolics with 27 through the second will now move over to 3. In the 3 weeks that Stan Gifford has appeared on championship bowling, he has had 57 consecutive clean frames. Kawolics on 3. He's got it. He hit that pocket. Hit it good and solid. Now, Stan Gifford has his ball, which is a 3-finger. Light finger grip. His thumb is sunk right in that hole. Let's see if he can. A turkey going for Stan Gifford. Stan Gifford has just been not lukewarm. He has been torrid. The boy from Portland, Oregon, who's appearing on the 4th consecutive week on championship bowling and who has won $7,025 thus far. How will they stop him? Now he's going for a 4-bagger on 3. A 4-bagger going for Stan Gifford. Last week, he had a 5-bagger working for him in one of the games, and then he followed it with a spare, of course, breaking his consecutive strikes. Gifford is up 3 marks on this first of 3 games. Kawolics had an open frame in the second. He has 27. He's now working on a strike. On 4, he is high, and there is a split. The 4-9 split. 4-9 split. And believe you me, I recall last week, Joe Norris on championship bowling covered this type of a split. It is not an easy one. Norris cut the 4-pin fine on the left side, slipping it over to grab the 9. Let's see what Eddie does. He is going down for it. He went for it all the way, but he has now, once again, an open frame in the 4th. 53 through the 4. Stan Gifford has a 4-bagger going through for him with 60 through the second. Kawolics now is on 3. He'll get warmed up. Oh, that's 7-pin. That's 7-pin, and Eddie looked back here on the approach up near the line like he'd like to throw a 16-pound ball down at that pin. He has 53 through the 4th. He'll now look to convert on the 7-pin in the corner to mark in the 5th frame, while Gifford has a 4-bagger going. Kawolics is up on 3. Second ball of the frame. Good. And he marks with a spare in the 5th. Kawolics with 53 through the 4th. A spare, that diagonal mark up there in the corner of the 5th frame. Stan Gifford with a 4-bagger. A 4-bagger. This is the way he started the week. He rolled the 300 perfect game. Is he going to come in? There is the 10-pin. The 10-pin stands. Look to be up just a little bit high in the pocket on that hit. A little bit high. Stan Gifford, who had a 4-bagger, now looking to cover the 10-pin. He's going to give it a cross-alley try. From the inside to the left of middle, and that ball is, no. That ball in 61 frames in the 62nd. There is the error for little Stan Gifford. He had 61 clean frames without a miss, and he just came up with one in the 62nd. Gifford now moves up to 3. Oh, gets that 9-pin out of there, but the 4 stands as Stan has 117 through the 5th and miss, and he'll be looking to get a spare in the 6th. He's facing the veteran Ed Kawolics of Chicago, Illinois, familiar to all of you television fans and bowling fans across the country. Gifford now up on 3. Going for the 4 pin. Has he got it? He clears it away. And that is a spare for Stan Gifford through the 6th. 117 through the 5th. Ed Kawolics 53 through the 4th with a spare in the 5th. Well, friends, I hope you'll have an opportunity in the very, very near future to get out and bowl. Go visit your favorite alleys and see how well you do in America's #1 indoor sport. Here's Ed Kawolics up on 4. Working on a spare. He gets a strike. Beautiful hit. Great action. Those pins really danced off into the pit. For Kawolics 73 through the 5th. The strike going for him in the 6th. For Stan Gifford, the amazing Stan from Portland, Oregon. He now is leading by a total of 44 pins. He has 117 through the 5th. The spare will be working for him in the 6th. Kawolics, one of the truly great bowlers. At the line. Crossover, he gets it. Well, you know, we're speaking to you from the East. Under championship conditions on these slick, fast alleys. And were that type of a strike rolled just across the river in Manhattan or Brooklyn, they'd call it a jersey. All right, Gifford now, he's coming up high. He almost crossed over, and he leaves the 6 pin standing. He was working on a spare in the 6th frame. That gives him 136 through the 6th. He can roll a possible 246 in this first of 3 games. And ladies and gentlemen, in the 9 games prior, this young man has a 235 average on series of 624, 736, 755. And he converts a spare in the 7th, giving him 136 through the 6th. Father of 2. Win the 1952 finals of the All-Star. It was the youngest ever to be there. It was won by Don Carter. There was one, he had a bad release on the ball at the line, and the ball slid by the head pin. You could probably see or hear, perhaps. It just didn't sound right or look right. And Stan knew it. Stan knew it. These fellows diagnose their own styles and characteristics so well that they are great personal doctors of the game. I don't think they can't help other people. All right, Stan now going for that 3 pin plus. He gets it. That's a big mark in the 8th. For Stan Gifford, he now has 153 through the 7th. He has a mark, a spare in the 8th. Eddie Kawolics coming up is working on a double. 2 strikes, a double. Kawolics is a fellow on championship bowling. 5 consecutive times, had over 700 tovers. Coming in high on the head pin, almost getting over on the Brooklyn side, leaving the 3-6. The 3-6 standing. So there's an even 100 in the 6th frame for Kawolics. He is still working on a strike in the 7th. He'll have to put away the 3 and 6 in order to mark. To the line. Going at the ball all the alley again. Oh, there was a sleeper there. The sleeper, the 9 pin, was standing behind that 3-6. He gets them all. So now Stan Gifford is leading by 33 pins in the first game of this 3-game match. Eddie Kawolics has a possibility here of rolling an even 200, while Gifford has a possibility of rolling 233. Kawolics on the line. In the pocket. He certainly was. That's a big strike in the 9th. Big strike in the 9th. That'll perhaps cut down the lead that Gifford is hanging on to. This boy is up against tremendous pressure as he is on championship bowling for the 4th straight week. Big money winner. He's coming in. And there he came in just a little bit too late. What a quick breaking hook. So that is the 10 pin standing. For Gifford, he has 172 through the 8th. He will try to cover the 10 pin. He's got it. And for Stan Gifford, he has a spare in the 9th, 172 through the 8th. Ed Kawolics, 140 through the if he has a strike up in the ninth. The game is getting closer and closer. Up too high. Came up too high. Perhaps he pulled the ball a little bit back at the line. Now, the best possibility that Gifford can get is a 210. Ed Kawolics' possibility is a possible 200. And boy, this lead can change hands here. Gifford now up on 3, going for the 610. Oh, he chops off the 6. And there's an open frame. An open frame. So he is through the 10th with a 199. 199 now. Kawolics can win by 1 pin if he strikes out from now on. Here it comes, here it comes. He got the first of them. Now he's got to get... Now, Ed Kawolics had to get 2 more in the roll-off. And should he will win the first game of this 3-game match with a total of 200 because Stan Gifford finished his first game with a 199. The smallest of margins, 1 pin. But Kawolics must get a strike on this ball and then on the next one. Here it goes, here it goes. It's up in there. Well, he's got a turkey, and all that he needs now is 1 more strike, which would give him the necessary margin to win this first game by 1 pin. He needs 9 for a tie. He needs a strike for a win. 8 or less is a loss. Hold your breaths, you Kawolics rooters. What's going to happen? Up on 4, down it goes. He lofted it out. It's high. There are 8 pins down. 8 pins down, 198, and what a game, the first in this 3-game series. Wow. So it's 198 for Ed Kawolics, 199 for Stan Gifford. We'll be back with a presentation after this brief but important message. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard Ned Day tell me on Championship Bowling not too many weeks ago that you can never have too comfortable a margin in bowling. And that was almost the case of Stan Gifford, who won the first game by 1 pin, 199 to 198, and he wins $50. Stan?
Thank you, Chris.
All right, the total now amounts to $7,075 by virtue of this $50 I'm giving you for winning the first game. You ready for the second?
Yes, I am.
Eddie Kawolics is really ready. Let's see what happens. Oh, the bowling fans love him out here in the East. Stan Gifford, 23 years old, from Portland, Oregon, who's been bowling only since 1944. He's up on 3 in game 2. First frame. Well, we have noticed that Stan Gifford's timing is not as good as it was in his last 2 appearances on Championship Bowling. Can he do something about it? You may recall that Ned Day won 3 times, came back on the 4th on Championship Bowling, and he lost. He lost to Paul Krumsky. Will this be a jinx? He's going for that 1-2-8. Gets it. Looked to me like a pin or 2 did a flip-flop down there. So it is a spare, a mark for Stan Gifford in the first frame. For some of you bowling fans, you may not be too familiar with the marking. A diagonal mark in that upper right-hand corner of a frame is a spare. An X indicates a strike, which Kawolics will try to get. Thank you, Ed, for backing me up there as I was saying that you were going for that. These boys go for all the pins that they possibly can, and they want to get the ball on as many pins as they can, and that means that they want to get it in that 1-3 pocket. The pins numbered 1, 2, 3 from left to right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. You can count them. Eddie Kawolics now up on 3. We're with a bang in the second game of this three-game series after losing the first game by only 1 pin, 199 to 198. Now it's Gifford, who in his career has rolled 2 perfect games. The big one on this program. Did you see the stuff on that ball? There was a bowling ball that really came into that pocket. The result, a strike. So Stan Gifford has 20 through the first frame, a strike up in the second, while Eddie Kawolics, always tough, great competitor, will have a double working for him. Stan Gifford on 3. He was way low, getting a very, very light hit, leaving the 1, 2, 4 standing. Looked to me as he may have pulled the ball. Certainly slid by that 1 pin. It's something you can't do. All right, Stan with 20 through the first. Strike in the second is looking to cover. 1, 2, 4. Will he get it? It's coming in. It's out. And little Stan continues to mark with 40 through the second, a spare in the third. Here is Kawolics, who has a double going. Ed Kawolics is a known slow starter. And with that double, and if he can put together another for a turkey, he might be on his way. He's up at the 12-foot line. He's coming up. Oh, that 4-pin. That 4-pin. There's wood behind it, but didn't have enough action to carry it out. Eddie Kawolics, who had a double. The ball seemed to be a little bit on the slow side. In fact, too slow. Kawolics throws a medium speed ball. He's got more curve on it than he has a hook. Down to the 4-pin goes the ball. Good. And Kawolics continues to mark. Now has 49 through the second, a spare in the third for Stan Gifford. He has 40 through the second, a spare in the third. Kawolics is up 1 mark. Kawolics now working on a spare in the third, is up on 3. Oh. Not into that pocket. Not a clean hit. So there is the 4-7. It was a high hit. This coverage here is of such greatness. And we know, in covering a lot of sports, it's so wonderful that you're going to be able to see just what a ball does and what a bowler is doing. There he gets a spare, and he too continues marking. Now has 67 through the third. He has a spare up in the fourth. Gifford, Stan Gifford, who had put together 3 tremendous series, 624, 736, and 755 for a 235 average going into this show. He gets it. A real spiller. There's a strike for Stan. He was down a mark. Now if he can put together a double, he'll be right back in the second game. He won the first by a pin. 199 to 198. He already has won $7,075 in the 3 weeks he's been on. $50 of it on this, the 4th week. There's his double. Puts together 2 strikes. That's 60 through the third. There you see the 2 strikes. Ed Kawolics, he has 67 through the third. He will now be working on a spare in the 4th as he steps up on 4. Shooting in frame 5. Kawolics keeps that left foot ahead. Takes a short left foot step and then came in high on the hit pin. Very high, leaving the 610. Kawolics with 85 through the 4th. Will now try to cover a 610 lead. He had a few difficulties in the first game, as you may remember. But he seems to be coming back strong here in the second. Gets it. A perfect hit on that 610, giving him a spare in the 5th. He has 85 through the 4th. The match is even. It is an even match. Kawolics went up a mark. After the second frame, continued on, and now here through the fifth, the match is even. The game, rather, is even. Actually, the match, only one pin difference. Oh, did you see that spiller action on those pins? See that spiller action on those pins. See that spiller action on those pins. Several types of strikes. And here now, Stan Gifford, who has a double, working for him through the fifth. As Eddie Kawolics has a spare in the fifth, Stan has one of the two strikes in the fifth. If he can get a turkey. Oh, that was a power right through the left side of the pins, up high on it. And there you have the 3-6-10. The 3-6-10 for Stan Gifford. He now has 87 through the fourth. Still working on a strike. He'll hope to get the spare on this roll. Is it coming back? Gowdy got it. And there you have it. 107 through the fifth. The spare working for him in the sixth. He is up 2 pins at this point. 2 pins, which means that he is up on the match 3 pins because he won the first game by 199 to 198. Add that on to the 2 he leads by now through the fifth, and you have a total of 3. Gifford is up on 3. There is his strike, and that is a big one. So he has 127 through the sixth with a strike going for him in the seventh. Kawolics has 105 through the fifth, a strike in the sixth. In one of the closest matches of recent weeks on championship bowling, we have it going here. Ed Kawolics with a strike up in the sixth. If he can get a double, he'll have an advantage. Small, but an advantage. He's in there. He had quite a bit of stuff on the tail of that ball coming into that pocket. There he goes up 1 mark, approximately 10 pins as the lead changes, because prior to the rolling of that ball, Stan Gifford through the fifth was leading by 2 pins, 3 pins in the match. Now it is Kawolics that will be looking for a turkey in the eighth. A turkey, and he is up on 3. What a mixer that was. There is his turkey. A real big turkey. Now Stan Gifford, who has met all challenges for the past 3 weeks. Will he do it here? He has to keep the pace. The pressure is on. Imagine, 23 years old. Here is a real little champion. It's coming in, and he's got it. A sweeper. We've seen just about every type of strike that you could have. Mixer, spiller, sweeper, solid smashes. You watch champion bowlers here on Championship Bowling from week to week, and you're going to see everything that can be done in bowling because they're the best. We love to be here every week to help you enjoy and enjoy with you this wonderful game. Boy, oh boy, a turkey for Stan Gifford. How about this? Oh, this gets too close here. We'll have to watch it very carefully now, friends. Mom and Dad, don't leave your chairs. You stay right there. Here's Eddie Kawolics. He wants to string a 4-bagger in the 9th frame. Will he do it? Ooh, that's what? High. It's going over. High on the head pin, but there is a break as the 10-pin toppled. The 3-pin remains standing. There's an indication that the ball was high because it was not into the 1-3 pocket. It did hit the lead pin, the head pin. So here we have one of the real close ones. Stan Gifford leading by only 1 pin going into the 2nd game. As Kawolics now will try to cover the 3. Has he got it? Yes, sir. So, through the 8th, Ed Kawolics 184, a spare in the 9th. He will now roll in the 10th. He has a possibility of shooting a 234. While his opponent, Stan Gifford, should he strike out, could shoot a 247. Kawolics. He's got it. He's got that big strike in the 10th frame. Now for the roll-off. He gets 2 more balls by virtue of getting a strike in the 10th. He is leading by 1 pin. Ed Kawolics is up on 3. Gifford was up 1 pin in the first game. It's there is that 2nd strike. The lead changed. The lead changed. You watch the marks between the 2 lines on the scoreboard. You'll see just a minus mark, meaning even, a +1, a +1, even, +1, never more. A mark means 10 pins, of course. There was 1 miss, but he rolled a beautiful game, leaving the 4-7 standing, and there is a big 232. A big 232, and that will stand him in good stead, if not in this game, in this match, which is close. Stan Gifford, the mighty little mite from Portland, Oregon, has a possibility of rolling 247, and if he can strike out, he can lead in the match by 15 pins. Is he coming in? He's got to come up. Didn't come up. Left a 3-pin cluster. He left the 2-4-5 standing. His best possible score in this game is 224, which means that Eddie Kawolics, in this pressure game with the heat on, is going to possibly go up 9 pins on the match. Oh, he gets it. He gets it. So there he has 204 through the 9th. He has a spare working for him in a 10th, which means that he has a free ball or bonus ball. And it means that if he strikes here, Eddie Kawolics will still be 7 pins up on the match. Going down to the pocket, he is in it. He is in the pocket, finishing with a 224. Eddie Kawolics finishing with a 232, now leading 7 pins on the match. We'll be back with the presentation after this brief but important message. Friends, at this point in championship bowling, I'm waiting to shake the hand of Eddie Kawolics, who went 7 pins up on the match. Here he is from Chicago, Mr. Kawolics.
Hi, Chris. Glad to get it.
Well, that winning smile is all over that face of yours.
Oh, it's nice when you win, believe me.
Put this in your pocket, $75.
That's good. That'll buy a steak.
Yeah, it sure will. And I'll tell you, we got a big $100 waiting for either you or Stan for winning the third, and $500 if you win the match. You ready?
I'll be trying. I think Stan's got enough.
All right. Ed Kawolics and Stan Gifford in the third and final game of this match. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the closeness of this match here in the East has Eastern bowling fans really on the edge of their seats. You at home, only 7 pins separate these two boys into the third and final game with Kawolics rolling. He gets a strike. A lot of stuff on that ball. A smash hit. Smash hit. There is a strike for Eddie Kawolics in that first frame. Here is Stan Gifford, who has had only 2 errors in the 4 weeks that he has appeared on championship bowling. Fantastic. He's at the line. It's coming up, and good. Both boys have as much courage as we have ever seen displayed in competitive sports. First Stan led, then Eddie would come back. The match would be even. The other boy would go ahead. They have never let down. Never. And Stan Gifford certainly hasn't let down, as he has amassed a tremendous amount of money. Oh, a real 10-pin tap. If you could ever see one, there it was. Stan coming back on championship bowling for the 4th consecutive week. Ned Day tried it earlier on championship bowling, but he was knocked off by Paul Krumsky in that 4th week. Can Stan Gifford overcome what appeared to be a jinx? Gifford up to the line and then across the alley. Oh! Looked to me like he stuck a little bit at the line. He stuck a little bit, which fouled up his footwork. Well, there is an open frame. That is an open frame, and only the third error in the 4 weeks, and Kawolics knows it as he steps up to the 12-foot spot on the approach. That can he strike here? He'll have a double, and what an advantage. Is he coming up? He's got it. Eddie Kawolics putting together 2 strikes for a double, and he now goes up in the match by a total of 29 pins. Going into the third and final game, which is worth $100, the match is worth $500. Kawolics really is putting on the pressure now. If he can get a turkey here, because Gifford had an open frame in the second, he will really have an advantage. Oh, the 4-pin, because of that high hit, would not go. No mixing. A lot of stuff on the ball, nonetheless. So Eddie Kawolics, who had a double, now the best he can do in this third frame is a spare if he covers that 4-pin. Is he going to do it? It's going over, and he clears it. There's a spare. He continues to mark. So as we mark it up, he now leads by 28 pins, or 2 marks. 49 through the second, a spare working for him in the third. Here is Stan Gifford. Let's see if he could come back after blowing in that second frame where he has 28 pins. He is up on the third frame. He is rolling on 4. Yes. Beautiful. And this boy hits that pocket with that wide breaking hook. He gets a powerhouse strike every time. There's a big strike in that open frame, following the open frame, and it was a tap. A 10-pin tap as the ball with a cross-alley shot went in the gutter. The outside of the alley. Is he going to break it in? Dinner bucket. Dinner bucket. A ball that was too fast had too much speed. The 2, 4, 5, and 8 in bowling jargon is called the dinner bucket, and it can be a dinner bucket on both sides of the alley. There it is, the 2, 4, 5, 8. Let's see if Steve can cover it. He sure did. He sure did. That's a spare in the 4th, giving him a total of 48 pins through the 3rd. Eddie Kawolics has a spare in the 3rd. At the end of 2 frames, Kawolics is leading by 28 pins. 28 pins in the match. The closeness of this match is so great and so important. Going to keep you right up on the total pin. Brooklyn and the 610. A common lead when the ball comes up on the Brooklyn side. 67 for Kawolics. Through the 3rd, he now leads by 26 pins. 26. $100 resting on this game. In fact, 500 actually resting on this game, because that's what the boy gets with the highest total. Eddie again looked as though he was going to get that bounce on the ball out there in the alley, but he covered the 610 beautifully. So through the 3rd, it is Gifford, 48 with a spare up in the 4th for Kawolics. 67 through the 3rd, a spare in the 4th. He is leading by 26 pins. He takes a lot of time aiming. And his leave is just opposite from the last, the 4-7. The 4-7. Eddie back here occasionally will make a comment or two as he walks by our microphone. Eddie now will try to cover those 2 pins. He is right in the middle of the approach. His left foot is pointed right at the dot. In the middle of the alley, releases the ball, and there it goes. He gets his spare, giving him 85 through the 4th, a spare up in the 5th. Here comes Stan Gifford with 48 through the 3rd, a spare working for him in the 4th. He is down about 26 pins in this match. 26 pins in this match. And let's see if he can come back. In previous matches, he hasn't had to. He's in there. No doubt about it. I think Stan knew it too. Can usually tell, as all these champion bowlers that you'll see on this show are spot bowlers. So Gifford erases 2 pins. He is now down only 24 pins, and if Gifford can put together a double here, he will have an advantage, because Eddie Kawolics in the 5th frame has a spare. Gifford with a strike in the 5th, looking for another on alley 3. He's got it. If you had planned to do anything during this last game, don't do it, because the margin has been cut down by Stan Gifford now to 14 pins in the 3-game match. In other words, $600 actually riding on this 3rd and final game. As Kawolics is up on 4. He is up to 5. A Brooklyn strike. Well, they get him that way sometimes. Bill Kawolics now with 105 through the 5th, has a strike going for him in the 6th. Gifford with 68 through the 4th will be working on a double the next time he shoots. Kawolics now is up on 3, leading by 14 pins. Let's see what he can do. Oh, he leaves. No! Looked as though it was going to be a baby split, the 3 and 10, but the 3 stands and the 10 drops into the pit. He has one more ball. One more to cover that 3-pin. All along, they've seesawed back and forth. This has been a real scorer's delight and a spectator's delight. He covers it, and he gets his spare. Through the 7th, he has 125 through the 6th. For Gifford, he has 68 through the 4th. He'll have a double working for him when he shoots. Can this 23-year-old West Coaster, Stan Gifford, take the advantage here as he is working on a double? He is up on 4. The ball is going down. It is. Oh, it was high. A high hit. Consequently, the 7-pin stands, who is working on a double, 2 strikes, with 97 through the 5th. As Eddie Kawolics had 125 through the 6th. It is a 15-pin advantage now held by Eddie Kawolics in the match. 15 in the match. 8 in this game. He covers it, and that is a big spare. That is a lone pin that Stan had trouble with in the second frame of this 3rd game. It was the 10-pin, however, as he missed it. Here are the possibilities now if these 2 boys can strike out from here on. Eddie Kawolics can roll a 235. Stan Gifford can roll a 230, or rather a 227. Gifford going for that pocket. He's got it. He has it. Actually, in this game, $600 is at stake. More than that, because the winner will be back 1 week from now. And he has a chance there to continue the string. Stan Gifford is trying to continue his string. He's already been on championship bowling for 3 weeks. This is his 4th. Eddie Kawolics is challenging him for the first time. Kawolics now up there with a spare in the 7th. Is eyeing his spot out there on the alley. It's going down. Perfect. Well, again, we caution you not to go away, even if you were going out to bowl yourself. Wait a little while. You'll get an education here, and you'll probably roll a better score. Well, 145 for Eddie Kawolics through the 7th. He is up 15 pins on the match. This is a very important strike, the 9th frame. This is a make or breaker. Kawolics moves up to the line. Watch it all the way. Oh! That high hit, leaving a 4-7 lead. A high hit, it looked to me like he bounced the ball just a little bit. He has done that 3 times in this 3-game match. And he registered just that as he came back from near our vicinity here. As we look on, as you see it at home. Now, will he cover the 4 and 7? It's going down. Good. Very good in the 9th. 165 through the 8th with a spare in the 9th. His best possible score could be 215 if he were to strike the rest of the way. Gifford, if he can strike out from here, he has 1 strike going for him in the 8th. He can roll a 227, which means he would win. It's going down. It's in the... There it is. There is a double. And as we mentioned earlier, prior to the start of the 9th frame, for either bowler, that this is the 9th frame. It could be the maker or the breaker. Stan Gifford, who has rolled against tough competition. Paul Krumsky, Joe Norris. Wow. Eddie Kawolics now leads by only 5 pins. Only 5 pins. Gifford now is going to try to make up that deficit. Will he move up in there? Got it! There's his turkey in the 10th frame, which gives him the opportunity now in the roll-off with 2 more balls, and if he can strike out, he will roll a 227, which will leave Eddie Kawolics with the best possible of 215. And Eddie just turned around here and said to me, it's going to be rough. Well, Ed, in my estimation, this has been one of the roughest matches ever. Ooh, it's been close. Nip and tuck, seesawing back and forth. Gifford is up there. 4 consecutive strikes. This is the same boy that put 12 together to win $5,000 because of that big, big 300 perfect game. Now, a strike here. A strike here will shut Ed out by 1 pin. 1 pin. Oh, don't move. Up to the line. The ball is going down. It is. Oh, it's in there. The 4-pin tap. A 4-pin tap and a great finish by Stan Gifford, who was down at 1 point in this game, 29 pins, 3 strikes by Eddie Kawolics. can cause a tie in this match. Oh, my. All right. He is working on a spare in the ninth. If he strikes in the 10th, he will get 2 more balls. Here it comes. It's in. Nope. It was up high, leaving the 610. The 610. Well, this is a mighty important match because if Stan Gifford wins, he will win $100 in the third game, $500 in the match, his 4th consecutive week. He will total then $7,775. Kawolics is going down there. He clears the alley. The 6 and 10 go. And that is a spare in the 10th frame. Kawolics has put together 3 tremendous games, 198 in the first, 232 in the second. Gifford, 199 in the first, 224 in the second. Notice the closeness of those scores. They're positively as close as you will ever see. Now, there goes Kawolics. Coming in low, sliding past that pocket. And there is the 2-pin. And there it is, 202 for Eddie Kawolics, the winner for the 4th consecutive week. Stan Gifford with a 226, 625 to 650. We'll be back with the presentation after this brief but important message. And then, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at those final scores once again. For Stan Gifford, 649. For Eddie Kawolics, 632, in one of the most exciting matches we've seen on Championship Bowling for a long, long time. And here is the money, gentlemen. Eddie, a gallant bid to continue on Championship Bowling. Here is your $200.
Thank you.
Real little competitor here.
Well, he put on the finish.
He really did. And now, in winning the third game, here is your $100, Mr. Moneyman. And for winning the match the 4th week in a row, here is $500, which means I can count $7,775 that you already have earned. You'll be back next week.
Yes.
Nice to have you both here. Hi, Eddie. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 week from now on Championship Bowling, Stan Gifford will really be in against more tough competition, as the great Buddy Bomar will be his opponent. Until then, on Championship Bowling, this is Chris Schenkel saying thanks and good night.